Hi, good day. I am Seminarian Stephen G. Camacho. Welcome to our course Individual Philosophy. This time, I am going to discuss with you one of the greatest thinker of all time, no other than Edmund Husserl. We might have known his famous work or philosophy, which is phenomenology. Now, in the introduction to Husserl's ideas, I have seen five important statements that serves as the highlights of his work. But before going to those five statements, you might wonder and ask who Edmund Husserl is and what makes him so special to be given such an attention from us who studied philosophy. But before going to those five statements, let us know first his biological background. Husserl was born on April 8, 1859 in Prosnetz. His parents were non-Orthodox Jews. Husserl and his wife had three children, and later they converted to Protestantism. Husserl studied astronomy in Leipzig, mathematics, physics, and philosophy, while in fact he is a doctor in mathematics in Vienna, specializes on the theory of variations. And now, let's go to the introduction to Husserl's ideas to pure phenomenology or transcendental phenomenology. And let's have the five statements now. Let's take it one by one. First, pure phenomenology is an essentially new science which, in consequence of its most radical essential peculiarity, is remote from natural thinking and therefore only in our days presses toward development. This statement signifies that pure phenomenology only presses towards development in the present times. Why? Because pure phenomenology before was described as peculiar since it underwent a thorough radical process, only thorough natural thinking. It is only when scholars awaken from a slumber that there is something similar which is true to all other sciences of realities. Thus, having this new attitude towards phenomenology opens the portal of opportunity in elevating its specific peculiarity and that of the natural attitudes into the specific consciousness. So now, let's have the second statement. I can sharply emphasize from the start that pure phenomenology is not psychology, and that neither accidental delimitations of its fields nor terminologies prevent its inclusion in psychology. Now, this statement clearly emphasizes the distinction between pure phenomenology from psychology, and after having new attitude of pure phenomenology, possibilities of accidental delimitations of its fields and terminologies with the other field might be present and leads to misconceptions. But such misconceptions must not be tolerated. That is why such old habits of thinking must be set aside in order to recognize and tear down the intellectual barrier which will set completely a new mode accessible to us only by the horizon open to all sides. And the third statement is what makes so extraordinarily hard the acquisition of the proper essence of phenomenology is that a new style of attitude is needed which is entirely altered in contrast to the natural attitude in experiencing and the natural attitude in thinking. Now, this statement means that adapting and trying to arrive a new successful attitude toward the real essence of phenomenology is difficult without relapsing the old habits or attitudes and thinking which is done naturally. This is similar to a student who had grown and become learned through the help of his old and traditional teacher. Thus, it is hard to just simply accept the new attitude or school of thought when you're used to the natural attitude and old attitude. But it has to be stopped for the sake of success of science or inquiry that changes and develop and evolve from time to time. So now, if you have observed, the first three statements dwell on first, defining the pure phenomenology, and the second is on seeing its barriers on how to arrive at the new habit or the transcendental one, and the third, making initial innovations on how to get rid the natural and old habit. So we will see the movement. And now, in the fourth statement, we have considering the issues before at hand, we shall develop then a method of phenomenological reductions that will lead towards free vita of transcendentally purified phenomena. This statement implies the need of pure or transcendental phenomenology to be established. And this time, transcendental phenomena will not be considered or treated as a science or of a matters of fact, but as a science of essence. Remember, not as a science of matters of fact, but as a science of essences. Thus, such phenomenological reduction leads over from the psychological phenomenal to the pure essence. And that leads to the fifth statement, which states that the phenomena of transcendental phenomenology will become characterized as irreal, not real. So, this statement and idea was born after the statement number 4. This clearly focuses on the phenomena that are transcendentally reduced. This designates a schematic framework of the introductory sense of investigations. Thus, the old habits framework will be replaced into a new and purified one which is transcendental, that will clarify the essence of pure phenomenology. So, Edmund Husserl's phenomenology is trying to recall to the original or to taking back to the things itself. Hence, our phenomenology is to be an eidetic doctrine, not of phenomena that are real, but of phenomena that are transcendentally reduced. So, that's all for the introduction to Husserl's idea, and thank you. God bless.